Okay guys, so for this value assignment for our sketchbooks, I am going to draw the inside of a drawer. Now when I'm talking about things like that, I mean find a drawer and draw what's inside it. Also draw the edges of the drawer. If I were to draw this, I would draw this, the edge, this inside. I would draw this panel as it appears. Try to get some texture of the wood in there. I would also probably draw the handle on the drawer. And honestly, there's a lot of stuff in here, so I might take the time to remove a few things that might make it look a little more interesting. There you go. Now my sewing drawer actually looks more like a sewing drawer. You can see my tape measure, you can see my pin cushion. I like having the scissors visible. The handle of a scissors is an interesting thing to draw. I might remove my headphones. I don't really need headphones in my sewing drawer. But I could leave them in there. There's a lot of stuff. So you can organize, you can make it look better if you want. Maybe I'll just leave the headphones in there because that could be an interesting thing to draw. But what you draw is up to you. It does not have to be the inside of a drawer. It says right on the page, it could also be the inside of a lunchbox or some sort of container. As long as the container is not empty, it should be fine. So you are not using color for this drawing, but you are using full value. That means full shading. You've done shading, we've practiced it. I need you to apply that to this drawing. It cannot just be outlines. This assignment will just be outlines. This one is not. Okay. Also, your last assignment, pretty much just outlines. This one, I need shading and value, and that means you're going to have areas that are very, very dark, and you're going to have areas that are very, very light, and then you're going to have a range of grays in between. Okay. Now the other thing that I want to make sure that we say is that I did say that you can't have an empty container. It has to be a container or a drawer with things inside it, but it needs to have at least 5 objects in it. It cannot have just one thing in it. That doesn't count. So 5 objects inside the container. I also want you to think about whatever it is you're drawing. Think about drawing the forms as you did for this last one. You know, some of the things in your drawer will be kind of turned on their side, right? For example, my spool of thread here, even though I know it's a spool of thread and it looks like that, it's a tall cylinder with a flat top and a bottom, it doesn't look like that here. Here it looks like a circle with a couple of straight lines going down and a curved bottom, right? Sure, this is a scissors, but I'm not drawing it straight on like that because that's not how it is in the drawer. In the drawer, it's laying kind of on its side, so I'm drawing it kind of at an angle. Okay, so think about objects as they appear and draw them as you see them. Don't draw them as you know they look or as you remember them looking. Draw them as you see them. Okay. Last couple of tips, don't forget to apply shadows to your drawing. So again, for my scissors, for example, there is a shadow of the scissors right here on the box underneath it. You can kind of see it's curved. That's a shadow from the scissors. Also, I have shadows here on this panel of the drawer. This metal piece casts a shadow there, so I'm going to shade that in when I draw it. It's also more shaded back here. It's just darker because I haven't pulled it out all the way. So shadows, pay attention to where your shadows fall. And then, you know, consider your point of view. Maybe you don't think that this is that interesting. Maybe you would rather draw it from this point of view. Sure. That's totally up to you. This is the perspective you choose. This is a point of view that you can choose to apply. Or maybe you want to draw it more like that. Hey, whatever you'd like. Make it interesting. You can change it up. But we don't want things to be too boring or too plain. I'm going to show you a really great student example that I have here. There's the inside of another drawer, student example. Not my favorite because it's still pretty plain and all of those shapes are very simple. They're just cylinders and they don't have a whole lot of form to them. But the dividers, they drew them looking three-dimensional. You can see the lines and the corners as they come down, and each divider has its own section of that. They also have their own shadows, so that's a decent one. And then the last student example that I have to show you is it's drawn, it's like this is the top of a desk. You can see something that's on top of the desk, the can of bubbly water, and then the drawer is pulled out. And so they've drawn it straight on. You can kind of see the things that are inside it, but Okay, so hopefully that's descriptive enough to get you started on your value assignment. Again, use a range of pencils, do use full shading, and draw a container of your choice. At least 5 things in that container. All right, get going. I'm excited to see what you guys make. Thanks.